And welcome back to the Mark Scaringi Show, where we defend the Constitution, American sovereignty, and common sense. I'm Mark Scaringi, your host. Today's topic, Trump scores another win in the United States Supreme Court, putting America first on immigration. Another huge win for the Trump administration and the rule of law at our southern border. On Thursday, June 25th, 2026, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in Mullen v. Al Otro Lado to uphold the federal government's metering policy. This policy allows Customs and Border Protection officers to turn back asylum seekers before they physically enter the United States at ports of entry. Justice Samuel Alito delivered a straightforward, textualist opinion. You don't arrive in the United States until you actually cross the border. No more creative interpretations turning attempted entry into actual arrival. This is exactly what the law requires, and it's a major victory for border security. The case goes back to a policy implemented years ago in response to surges at the border, including large numbers of Haitian migrants trying to claim asylum near San Diego. Under metering, officers at ports of entry turn away those without valid travel documents before they step foot on U.S. soil. Asylum seekers are told to wait or pursue legal channels, not rush the border illegally. The challengers, an immigrant rights group and individuals, argued that being turned away at the threshold still counts as arriving in the United States under federal asylum law. The Ninth Circuit bought it. The Supreme Court didn't, and rightly reversed them. Justice Alito was crystal clear. In ordinary language, you arrive when you enter, not when you're standing at the door blocked by an officer. He used simple analogies. A running back doesn't score at the 1-yard line, and a letter doesn't arrive in the mailbox if the dog stops the carrier first. Congress knows how to say attempt to enter when it wants to, and it didn't here. This policy was used by multiple administrations to manage surges in an orderly way. It doesn't permanently bar anyone. It just requires them to follow the process instead of overwhelming the system and rushing the border. The three liberal justices dissented, of course, with Justice Sonia Sotomayor, the wise Latina judge, reading her opinion from the bench. She warned of more deaths, more illegal crossings, and invoked the tragic MS St. Louis, the ship carrying Jewish refugees turned away before World War II. Now, with all due respect, that's inflammatory rhetoric, not constitutional analysis. The majority's decision doesn't ban asylum. It simply says you have to actually enter the country to claim it under the statute. Illegal entry carries risks and consequences. That's the law. Rewarding those who try to rush the border illegally undermines legal immigration and national security. Justice Alito rightly pushed back. Metering promotes orderly processing. It doesn't violate our internal obligations. It doesn't violate our international obligations, which generally apply to those already within our borders. Now, let's talk about another uncomfortable truth the open borders crowd doesn't want to discuss. Most asylum claims at the southern border are fraudulent or fail to meet the legal standard. The system is overwhelmed with people who are not fleeing genuine persecution based upon race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group, which is the narrow legal definition. Many are economic migrants seeking jobs, benefits, or simply a better way of life. But that's not asylum. They've learned the loophole. They claim fear, get processed, and then disappear into the interior. That's fraud. Data backs this up. Denial rates for asylum claims are high, often 50 to 70% or more, depending upon the year and the nationality. In some Central American cases, the vast majority never receive a credible a favorable, credible fear finding or final grant because there is no fear. They're just economic migrants. Many claims collapse when scrutinized in immigration court. People file, get released pending hearings, and then fail to show up, leading to in absentia removal orders. And by the way, this is after they have liberal lawyers, liberal judges, a liberal court system desperately trying to coach them and help them on how to make a proper asylum claim, even though in truth, their claim is improper. They're economic migrants. That's not an eligible ground for asylum. Now, thwarting our immigration process to allow so many illegals into the country under false claims of asylum is not compassion, it's exploitation. Metering helps manage the chaos and forces people to follow legal channels instead of rushing the border with dubious and, in most cases, false claims. The Supreme Court's ruling protects the integrity of the process. Without strong enforcement, we reward fraud, punish those who follow the rules, and burden American taxpayers with the costs of hearings, detention alternatives, and services for failed claimants. Now, this ruling reinforces a basic truth. America is not a sanctuary city. America is not a sanctuary country. America is not a sanctuary for the world. We have the sovereign right to control our borders. Asylum is a discretionary form of relief for those fearing persecution, not a blanket right to enter whenever and however you want. The left wants open borders by another name, asylum. Metering policies blocked. They want catch and release. They want endless TPS extensions and judicial interference. The Supreme Court of the United States just said no. The executive branch has tools to manage the border responsibly. Congress should support this with real legislation, more agents, wall funding where needed, ending catch and release, and reforming asylum to prevent abuse. Illegal crossings endanger migrants, strain communities, and threaten security. Strong, consistent enforcement saves lives and upholds the rule of law. This 6-3 decision is another example of the Trump administration delivering results and the Supreme Court applying the law as written. Praise to Justice Alito and the majority. The dissent reveals a judicial philosophy more concerned with liberal progressive outcomes than the text of the statute or the Constitution. Contact your representatives, demand they back stronger border policies, and stop the activist lawsuits. Share this episode. America's sovereignty is non-negotiable. This is Mark Scaringi. Stay vigilant, stay informed. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.